Fleo is just another average loser who gets isekai'd into a fantasy world. Thinking it's finally his moment to shine, he quickly finds out he's got zero magic and zero talent. The king takes one look and straight up yeets him out, leaving him to die in the wild. But death? Not today. He unlocks a broken level 2 cheat power that flips his fate completely. And with it, he sets out on a wild quest to gather the most exotic women this new world has to offer so he can clap them. Fleo used to be a chill trader in a fantasy world where everyone treated demi-humans like trash. But he was built different. Man actually paid them fair wages and didn't treat them like slaves. One day, while he's just vibing and loading his wagon, boom, he gets isekai'd into another world. He opens his eyes and sees a bunch of hooded dudes celebrating like they just summoned Goku. The Pope tells him, "Congrats, you're our hero. Please save us from the demon army." Before Fleo can even process his new job, a maid walks up and does some crystal magic test. Everyone expects him to have god-tier stats. But turns out, man's got garbage numbers and zero special skills. Then another hero gets summoned right next to him, this blonde guy with 999 in every stat, and everyone immediately switches teams like bandwagon fans. The king crowns Blondie as the savior, while Fleo just stands there like a side character in his own show. Next morning, they yeet Fleo out of the capital saying, "Here's a random piece of forest land. Now don't ever come back." On the way, even the lizard man escort roasts him. When they reach the forest, the guy tells him, "You should probably run. This place is crawling with demon generals." Fleo checks his bag. It's got some food, cash, and a cool-looking sword. He's thinking, okay, maybe this isn't too bad, until some slimes roll up and attack him out of nowhere. He fights back. The sword immediately breaks, but then his stats suddenly skyrocket to SS rank. Turns out breaking cheap swords is the secret to power-ups. A voice named Alexa, yep, like Amazon's cousin, pops up and tells him she'll be his guide. She also casually mentions his magic bag has a GPS tracker and monster bait, meaning the king literally set him up to die. Alexa removes the curses, and when she tells him the forest is full of poison gas, he just purifies the entire thing with one big anime light blast. Back in the capital, everyone's losing their minds because an S-rank spell just went off, except it wasn't Blondie, it was Fleo. Dude's level 367 now, basically a walking cheat code. He shapeshifts into a random new guy after briefly turning into a thick girl and realizing he's not built for that life, and teleports back to the city. At the Adventurers Guild, he signs up as an E-rank rookie, spots a broke little girl asking for help, and agrees to escort her for free. Everyone's shocked when he casually mentions he can teleport. Apparently that's like flexing a Tesla in a medieval world. A squad of hot female adventurer baddies immediately jumps him thinking he's a creep. He proves his teleportation skills by warping them all straight to the forest. They freak out when they realize he's telling the truth and apologize. But then plot twist, the little girl turns into a giant wolf demon named Fenre, one of the 4 demon generals. She fills the air with poison gas, everyone starts dying, and Fleo just stands there like he is going to save them all. Plot twist, he actually does. He teleports all the girls to safety and stays behind to face the demon alone, ready to go full anime protagonist mode. Fenris lunges straight at Fleo like a boss fight intro, but he pulls a full Goku move and dodges with instant transmission. She spins around swinging those demon claws, but man whips up an earth wall like he's playing Minecraft defense mode. Fen teleports behind him for a sneak attack, but he hits her with a gravity spell and pins her to the ground. While she's stuck, Alexa pops up again like a clingy pop-up ad and tells him to use slavery magic. Fleo's like, nah, he's not trying to start a Confederate arc. Fenris keeps trying to teleport away, but Alexa keeps canceling her spell. Fleo's still morally conflicted about the whole slave idea, because that's exactly what he hated in his old world. Eventually, Fenris burns through all her mana, collapses, and tells him to just finish her off. But Fleo, being the soft-hearted main character he is, refuses. He says he doesn't kill anyone who's already given up, and she's so shook by his kindness that she turns back into her human lowly form. Completely naked, of course, because anime logic. Gentleman Fleo covers her with his cloak like a true man of culture. While he's trying to find her some clothes, she passes out cold. He sets her up in a tent, makes a fire, and spends the night testing random spells like a kid who just unlocked the developer console. When she finally wakes up, she's surprised she's still alive. Fleo just smiles, happy she's safe. She's so touched that she swears loyalty to him, even calling herself his slave. She goes full dramatic and tries to end herself because her life has no meaning without him. Panicking, he agrees to let her stay. Later that night, he tells her everything. how he's not from this world, got summoned as a fake hero, then thrown away like expired milk. She's unbothered and promises to stay by his side forever no matter what. She even hugs him, and honestly, it's kinda wholesome. Meanwhile, back at the kingdom, Blondie the so-called hero returns after getting his cheeks clapped by the demon army. He blames the king for giving him weak knights, even though the real story is that he was hiding behind them the whole time. The next day, Fleo and Fenris return to the city pretending to be husband and wife. They register Fenris at the guild under the name Rice, grab some quests, and everything seems chill until an emergency quest drops. A horde of monsters is heading straight for the city. Fleo wants to skip it, but Rice calls him out, says he's way stronger than her, and if she can handle it, so can he. They teleport to the forest, and surprise, the same group of adventurer girls he saved earlier are getting folded again. Fleo fries monsters with lightning, Fen smashes others with her fists, and together they clean house like a power couple. After the fight, Rice decides to keep one cute monster as a pet, so Fleo just slaps a magic collar on it and turns it into a cursed bunny dog thing. The girls thank him and ask to be trained by him since the hero's too busy being useless. Rice gets all jealous and possessive until Fleo calls her his wife again. Now she's all smiles. They agree to train the girl starting tomorrow, and honestly, Fleo's life is turning into a man's dream life pretty fast. Fleo wakes up one morning and nearly jumps out of bed because Rice is sitting right next to him, staring like a cat waiting for breakfast. Then he remembers last night's chaos. She wanted to sleep in the same bed since they're husband and wife, but he panicked and said they still had some formalities left before doing that. Rice, being a beast person, didn't get the concept of slow burn romance and said beast people just marry whoever they want, whenever they want. Fleo, embarrassed beyond belief, tried to sleep outside, but Rice reminded him that if the other girls saw them sleeping separately, they'd start gossiping. So now he's stuck sleeping in the same room, but sets up two separate beds, like divorced parents still living together for the kids. The next morning, Rice tells him to change his old clothes, but before he can even move, Balarosa Rosa barges in without knocking and runs off screaming, because the scene looked a little too sus. Later, they start combat training, but it's going downhill fast. Balarosa Rosa tries to introduce herself to the boar instead of attacking it. The boar charges. Muscle Mommy swings her sword like she's chopping wood and misses completely. The witch's magic shield gives up halfway, and the archer's arrows might as well be toothpicks. Fleo and Rice just watch the chaos like tired parents watching toddlers fight over crayons. Later, Fleo sets up soft, comfy beds for everyone, instantly becoming the house favorite. Then they go to eat, only to find raw boar meat on every plate, Rice proudly announcing it's fresh from the hunt. Fleo, horrified, decides to cook the meal himself, teaming up with Balarosa to make steak, rice, and salad. Rice acts all superior until she tries the food and realizes cooked meat is actually fire. Still, she pretends it's just okay and promises to outcook him next time. When they go to the capital to sell the boar meat, people freak out because Fleo, supposedly a rookie, took down a high-rank demon beast. The king even offers him an honorary knight title, but Fleo rejects it faster than someone declining a pyramid scheme. Meanwhile, Rice returns later that day covered in ash. Turns out she joined a cooking class and accidentally nuked the place, trying to light a stove with magic. A month later, life is chill, except the king's men keep bugging Fleo to join the hero's party. One day, they're chilling when a demon spy named Uliminus peeks through the window. Rice catches her instantly, drags her in, and Fleo offers her tea like a polite host while she's still processing her near-death experience. Turns out Fleo unknowingly killed Rice's brother, who was a demon general during one of his purification spells. Rice doesn't even flinch, saying she still loves him because he's both strong and kind. Uliminus, trying to act tough, challenges Fleo but gets clapped instantly when he snaps his fingers and cancels her attacks. Next day, she returns with a full dragon army to get revenge, but Fleo gets hyped instead of scared. He zaps the entire squad with lightning like he's farming XP, leaving everyone speechless. Muscle Mommy throws a hoe at one fleeing dragon, Fleo boosts it magically, and boom, she gets crowned Dragon Slayer. The Demon King, watching all this from afar, finally decides he's had enough of this overpowered couple and decides to head out personally to deal with them. The next morning, the girls were still fangirling over Muscle Mommy's new title, the Dragon Slayer. The witch even brought back the hoe that killed the dragon like it was some kind of holy relic. Meanwhile, Balarosa decided she was done with all the hype and announced she was going monster hunting again. Everyone thought she was super dedicated, but the truth was she hadn't actually gotten any stronger, she was just coping hard. Turns out she was salty about not getting the Dragon Slayer title herself. While she was busy sulking in the forest, a random guy appeared behind her, asking about a couple who lived nearby. Balarosa got instant bad vibes. Dude was walking around monster territory without armor like he owned the place. When he said he was looking for the wife, her brain immediately went, he's a demon. She threatened him for a bit, but he just asked her to tell Rice that he wanted to have tea with her. Balarosa thought it was weird as hell, but before she could process it, Fleo and Rice showed up. Turns out Fleo's barrier detected that the actual Demon King had entered the area. Everyone freaked out. Balarosa especially, she was convinced she was about to be deleted from existence. The next day, Rice opened the door, and yup, the Demon Lord himself was standing there like he just came for brunch. Fleo, being the unbothered king he is, invited him in for tea. The Demon Lord introduced himself as Gol, and instead of starting beef, he asked Fleo to join the demon army. Fleo, sipping tea like a chill main character, said, nah, he wasn't picking sides. Gol got a bit dramatic, aura flaring up, monologuing about how humans had oppressed demons for centuries. In the end, Gol respected Fleo's guts and dipped, promising to visit again. Meanwhile, Balarosa was sitting there pretending to be fine, but was actually passed out from fear the whole time. When she woke up, she went to the kitchen, only to find the Demon King casually eating breakfast with Fleo and Rice again. She panicked and ran. Over the next few days, Gol kept randomly showing up trying to hang out, and Balarosa kept finding creative ways to nope out of there. But word got out in the kingdom that the Demon Lord had been visiting Fleo's house, and the king absolutely lost it. He assumed Fleo had gone rogue and ordered his army to destroy him. The princess tried to talk sense into him, but he told her to stay in the kitchen.
What did he say?
The blonde hero then volunteered to handle Fleo personally. Soon after, the kingdom's army surrounded Fleo's house. The hero gave him an ultimatum: join humanity's side or die as a traitor. Fleo calmly said he wasn't choosing either side. The hero called him a traitor anyway, but before things escalated, Fleo used teleport magic to yeet his entire house, crops, and party to a whole new location. The army just stood there like NPCs after a cutscene. Meanwhile, the Demon King found out the humans had attacked Fleo's place and completely lost his cool. He transformed into his demon form and ordered a full-scale attack on the kingdom. Back in their new home, Fleo was enjoying the time of his life with 5 different types of baddies in his house. Word got to the king that the Demon King was about to go full Thanos on his kingdom, and the man straight up panicked. His ministers told him the demon army had already invaded the northern forests and was pushing through hard. The king realized he was cooked, so he ordered all the mages to pull off one massive holy nuke spell to cleanse the forest. Hundreds of mages gathered and started chanting like they were dropping the ultimate anime finisher. The head wizard powered it up until the entire country glowed. Then boom, giant purification wave wiped out most demons and left everyone totally drained. While all this was going down, Fleo came home from town, empty-handed but chill as ever. He told the girls his business trip was a flop, but he'd try again tomorrow. Muscle Mommy bragged about her farming hustle, and the redhead archer said she wanted to breed horses. Fleo liked the idea and said they could build a stable nearby, which made her light up like she just got a new side quest. Meanwhile, the wizard and Balarosa sat there realizing they were jobless, skillless, and just there for vibes. Back at the palace, the princess checked on things and got told everything was fine. Demons gone, kingdom safe. But she wasn't buying it. She pointed out that every single mage, including her dad, had burned out all their mana. Basically, the kingdom was running on low battery mode for months. So she pulled a power move and took control of the kingdom. Her first order? Yeet the cowardly hero's title. The man came crawling back later, begging for an audience, but the guards told him to get lost. The next day, Fleo's girls decided to thank him and Rice by forcing them out on a date while they cleaned. The two spent the day exploring town, eating snacks, and vibing. Fleo wanted to thank her properly, so he bought her a blue brooch that matched her eyes. She was so touched she kept staring at it like it was a rare drop. Meanwhile, the ex-hero broke into the royal treasury like a broke gamer looking for cheat codes. He found a hidden chamber with a talking sword that promised him power. Big mistake. He pulled it out, summoned a djinn named Haya, and made a wish to kill Fleo. Suddenly, magic collars appeared all over the kingdom, and the princess realized he'd basically cursed everyone. Centuries ago, the same wish killed half the population. Panic mode activated. The oracle said only the real hero could fix it. Out in town, Fleo was chilling after selling a dragon shield when Haya appeared. She said she was there to fulfill the ex-hero's wish. She blasted a beam, but Rice jumped in and took the hit. Fleo tried to heal her, but it didn't work. The genie launched explosions, but Fleo tanked them like a boss. Watching Rice bleed out broke him. Angry beyond reason, he swore to vaporize the djinn for killing the only person who made his useless new life worth living. Fleo stared down the djinn like an angry anime protagonist about to drop his ultimate move. He busted out a time reversal spell. Rice's wound closed up, the brooch he gifted her fixed itself, and she was back, alive but out cold. The djinn was completely shook. Humans weren't supposed to pull off that kind of cheat code magic. Before she could even process what was happening, Fleo decked her straight in the face. The djinn went flying, bleeding, and raging, but he wasn't having any of it. He stomped her like he was teaching a lesson in gender equality, then broke through her defense barrier like it was tissue paper. When she tried to analyze his power levels, she realized all his stats were maxed to infinity. Man was basically walking admin mode. He slammed her into a wall, unleashed a flurry of punches, and topped it off with an uppercut that would have made Mike Tyson proud.
Vicious win.
Meanwhile, Rice woke up, surrounded by a crater, confused but fine. She spotted Fleo beating up a girl in the middle of the street and had that "my man's kinda scary but still hot" moment. She was touched that he fought for her until she remembered that he hates fighting. By the time she got close, Haya was half dead, dangling in Fleo's chokehold. Rice ran up and grabbed his arm, begging him to stop, which finally snapped him back to normal. He dropped the djinn, hugged Rice tight, and just melted with relief. At that same time, the princess and her squad teleported to the village looking for him. Randomly, all the magic collars on their necks vanished. Turns out the djinn failed her mission. Meanwhile, back at the castle, the fake hero was crying over his latest L when some ancient cursed spirit possessed his maid. She turned him into a full-blown monster and set out to destroy the royal family. Back in the village, Fleo started healing Haya instead of finishing her off, which left everyone confused, including Haya. He said he only did it because Rice was safe now. Then he casually revealed he used mind-reading magic on her to see why she attacked, and found out it was the fake hero's fault. The Djinn was stunned since only Djinns could do that. Fleo said he could seal her away again, but Rice interrupted, saying the better idea was for the djinn to join their team. Everyone's jaws dropped, but Rice said it was time to forgive and level up the squad. The djinn agreed, impressed by Fleo's kindness, and officially became his servant. Fleo awkwardly apologized for turning her face into a drum set, but she weirdly said it was kinda thrilling. Red flag behavior, honestly. He thought about rewinding time to fix the destroyed streets, but Haya told him to chill. Time magic had major consequences. Instead, she taught him a safer spell and joked that he should watch Interstellar to learn why messing with time is a bad idea. That night, everyone went home, exhausted but happy. The girls freaked out seeing a djinn living with them, but Fleo explained the new roommate situation. Later, Rice got emotional and climbed onto Fleo, asking if he'd leave her now that he had god-tier powers. He told her he wasn't going anywhere and proposed to her instead. Just as things started to get spicy, the djinn awkwardly peeked in, claiming she had to stay nearby for duty. A few days later, the princess was still desperately hunting for the fallen hero, Fleo. She'd been wandering around the whole village like a lost GPS, asking everyone for clues, but every time she came up empty-handed. Meanwhile, back at the cottage, things were surprisingly domestic. Haya, the newest addition to Fleo's harem, had made breakfast for everyone instead of Rice. The others were low-key shocked that a magical being could even cook. But Haya explained she just used her powers to make food appear. Rice instantly banned that, saying Fleo would never eat magically spawned pancakes. So Haya actually cooked everything by hand. Rice told her she could help clean the house instead, which immediately set off panic alarms among the girls. Cleaning was basically their only job, so if Haya started doing that too, they'd have no purpose left. The muscle mommy instantly grabbed her tools and sprinted to the fields to prove she was still useful. The redhead archer was in the stables, vibing with the horses, maybe a little too much since one started licking her face and another went straight for her backside. She didn't seem to hate it though, weirdly enough. Inside the house, the mage girl was having an existential crisis. Her dad and brother were both royal mages and she was supposed to follow in their footsteps. But after leaving the army for Fleo, she had no idea what to do with her life. Then she remembered how Fleo helped her train, and she decided she'd become the best mage ever just to make him proud. Suddenly, a scream from outside cut through the peace. They ran out and found a huge purple unicorn-looking beast going berserk in their field. Turns out it wasn't just a horse, it was a magical creature strong as hell. The mage threw up a magic shield to save them, and just when things were about to get messy, Balarasa showed up and apologized. saying it was her fault. She was ready to kill it, but Muscle Mommy yelled for her not to. The redhead hopped on the wild horse like some kind of fantasy cowgirl, whispered sweet nothings into its ear, and somehow calmed it down. Meanwhile, Fleo and Rice were out on what was basically a mini-date, selling his new salamander skin vest in town. Rice was just enjoying holding his hand and mentally simping over being his wife. Then out of nowhere, the sky went dark, a giant monster appeared with a witch riding it, and everyone started screaming like it was Black Friday. Haya rushed in, explaining that the witch, Damilinus, was a legendary dark sorceress who got sealed centuries ago. Haya told Fleo she wanted to fight her, and he gave her the green light. The witch started flexing with flashy spells, but Haya casually blocked everything like it was a mosquito. Damilinus pumped her monster full of dark magic until it looked like a nightmare on steroids, but Ha broke the spell, blasted the witch, and literally ate her soul. The princess ran over afterward, realizing Fleo was the exiled hero her dad fired. She begged him to take the job back, but he refused, saying the kingdom needed someone who actually cared. Then everyone went home, and the girls proposed starting their own business by buying nearby land. Fleo agreed, they pulled it off, and everything felt wholesome again. As the sun set, Fleo whipped out a gemstone ring he made himself and slid it onto Rice's finger. She was over the moon, hugging him tight, ready for whatever crazy adventures came next. A few days later, Balarosa had one of those wild nightmares straight out of a dark fantasy game. She woke up in a creepy castle, dressed in black, surrounded by darkness. Before she could even process that nonsense, the demon lord himself showed up in full groom fit, acting like this was their wedding day. Balarosa was horrified, but also a tiny part of her kinda liked it. She woke up sweating, confused, and slightly embarrassed while the other girls told her to shut up and let them sleep. Next morning, she dragged herself to breakfast looking like she hadn't slept in years. Rice noticed and asked what was up, and Balarosa said she'd been having weird dreams. Rice, being the chaos queen she is, immediately decided Balarosa was in love. Apparently for demon wolves, nightmares about someone mean you're secretly crushing on them. The girls overheard and rushed in like gossip detectives, demanding to know who she liked. They joked it was probably the Demon King, which made Balarosa blush harder than a toaster. She denied it, claiming he probably hated her anyway, but the girls weren't buying it. Haya got curious and asked Rice how she fell for Fleo. Rice said he was the perfect combo of soft and strong, basically a golden retriever who could also bench press a dragon. Meanwhile, across the kingdom, the princess was stressing. One of her ministers realized that the gold coins Fleo gave them were the type only issued to heroes. She put two and two together and realized the dude was actually the first hero they had kicked out ages ago for low stats. Now she was embarrassed for treating him like garbage. To make things worse, the ex-hero and his thick maid had just escaped prison and apparently stole royal treasure on their way out. Back in the demon castle, Illuminus reported that they still couldn't find Fleo. She suggested they just focus on invading the capital while the humans were weak. But the demon lord refused to send more of his soldiers to die, which made her mad, and even his own brother, Sir Ugard, heard about it and lost his mind. He smashed a table, injured his own assistant, and declared he was going to overthrow his brother and take the throne himself. Meanwhile, Fleo and Rice were just vibing in the market, buying ingredients like a chill couple in a slice-of-life anime. They ran into an old shopkeeper closing down because of the war, which made them realize that trouble was creeping closer, no matter how peaceful things seemed. Just when Fleo planned a nice lunch date, Balarosa crashed it to celebrate ranking up in the Adventurers Guild. Haya then flew in like a drama alarm, warning of a strong demon nearby. It was the Demon King himself, casually showing up for lunch. They all sat down, and Goal dropped some dark lore about how humans and demons can't really coexist because of monotoxicity and bloodlust issues. Then he peaced out, leaving Balarosa staring at her plate, totally lost in her feelings. On the way home, Fleo got hit by the realization that this whole peaceful life thing might not last long. He hugged Rice tight, silently praying he wouldn't have to choose between love and war. The next morning, Rice whipped up some fire meat patties that made everyone at the table question their life choices. Even the fancy restaurants couldn't compete. Just as the squad was about to dig in for round 2, there was a knock at the door, and guess who showed up? The princess, with her guards. Fleo was like, "Girl, why are you here?" Since he'd already told her he was done with the whole hero business. Turns out she came to apologize. Yeah, the royal, "oops, sorry for tossing you into a monster-infested forest" kind of apology. Both Fleo and Rice were shocked that their secret had leaked. The princess asked for a private chat, but Rice wasn't having it. She wasn't about to leave her man alone with some royal apology tour. Fleo backed her up, basically saying if the princess couldn't say it in front of his wife, she could bounce. Rice internally threw confetti at that one. The princess gave in and laid it all out. The kingdom was in shambles. Their magic was running out, and demons were pulling up like it was a music festival. She needed Fleo's help to defend the unguarded towns. Rice instantly went full attack dog, accusing her of trying to drag Fleo back into the war. But the princess dropped some political drama. Apparently, the old king might soon recover and accuse Fleo and Rice of treason, so she wanted Fleo on her side to help her take the throne. Meanwhile, the ex-hero and his thick maid were still out there running for their lives, eating cookies behind a bush and accidentally flirting. Right when it seemed like they were catching a break, a giant spider popped up and tied them both up like snacks for a goth demon mommy scientist. She happily claimed them as her next experiments. Back home, Fleo couldn't sleep. He told Rice he didn't want to fight but couldn't just chill while innocent towns got wrecked. He even imagined a world where human and demon kids could play together. Rise, full wifey mode, said she believed in him completely. Of course, right then, demons decided to raid a town. A little girl almost got clapped, but Fleo showed up wearing a wolf mask and riding Rice like a boss. They saved the girl, and Rice complained he hadn't even asked for payment. Fleo said if he took money, people would call him a sellout. A huge cyclops showed up, the type that served the Demon King's evil bro. He insulted Rice's dead brother, and she said, "Bet," and went Super Saiyan. She outmaneuvered him, yeeted trees with gravity magic, and nailed him to the ground. Fleo healed him afterward, flexing his mercy game, then blasted some lightning to scare the rest off. News spread fast about the masked adventurer and his hot wolf partner protecting towns. The princess found out and decided she owed him big time. Meanwhile, Demon King Gol learned that his emo brother Sir Uigard had started a coup, with the goth demon mommy planning to sacrifice 2 humans to summon some forbidden god power. Fleo woke up to find 2 unexpected guests chilling at his doorstep, none other than the actual Demon King Gbol and his right-hand woman, Euliminus. The squad sat down for tea like it was just another Tuesday, while Fleo tried to figure out why the literal ruler of hell was sipping his tea in their house. Turns out Gol was there to ask a favor. Not gold, not power. He just wanted to crash at their place for a bit. Rice thought he was joking and laughed, which instantly triggered Euliminus' "don't mess with my king" energy. But Gol explained that his emo younger brother, Sir Uigard, had staged a full-on coup while he was gone. Dude basically stole the throne, and now Gol was homeless. Euliminus then spilled the demon tea. She'd gone to the elite Eternal 4 demons hoping for help, but they all went Switzerland mode, totally neutral. Apparently, a goth demon mommy had already convinced them to stay out of it, because Sir Uigard and Gol were going to settle it in a one-on-one bro versus bro throne duel. She roasted Gol for being too soft on humans, saying he'd gone full peace and vibes instead of fire and brimstone. When Gol confronted them, they all stood there like guilty kids in class, and he realized they were done believing in him. So instead of fighting, he just took off his Demon King ring and yeeted it to Sir Uigard, basically resigning on the spot. Sir Uigard got mad, charged at him, and got sent flying through several castle walls with one back kick that could have ended his bloodline. And just like that, Gol gave up the throne and walked away like a chill ex who's too tired to argue. Now dethroned, broke, and homeless, Gol showed up at Fleo's place asking for a spot on the couch. Fleo, being polite, said he'd have to ask the housemates first. The girls held a meeting and were all like, "Wait, you want us to live with the Demon King?" But Gol explained that he'd quit all the evil stuff and even paid his army fairly. Eventually, everyone agreed, though Banaza wasn't thrilled. Rice worked her emotional magic and convinced her that Gol wasn't so bad. And so the Demon King officially moved in. Problem was, he had no idea what to do as a house guest. He tried helping Muscle Mommy in the fields, but she banned him from using magic near her crops. He offered to help in the stables, but his aura scared the horses. Later, he hung out in Fleo's workshop, nerding out over armor like a kid in a toy store. That night, they all chilled around a bonfire eating snacks, but Banaza still sat a mile away, visibly uncomfortable. Later, she confessed to Fleo and Rice that even though Gol wasn't evil anymore, she'd seen too many people suffer from demon attacks to just vibe with him. Fleo reassured her she didn't have to like him, and Rice reminded her she was part of the family. The next morning, Banaza decided she'd stay after all, but warned Gol that if he hurt even one human, she'd personally end him. Gol laughed it off while Euliminus teased her for being scared earlier, only to get roasted right back about losing to Fleo twice. With that, Balarosa grabbed her bow and stomped off into the forest, probably regretting ever joining this sitcom of chaos. Meanwhile, at the demon castle, Sir Uigard, the new I'm Him demon lord, calls a staff meeting with his 4 generals to yell about how they keep losing to humans. Puff, the goth mommy general, nervously explains that the troops keep falling for traps and can't even reach the battlefield. Sir Uigard loses his temper, hits her, and tells her to fix it or else. The other generals look like interns sitting through a CEO meltdown. Once Sir Uigard storms off, they all agree that this guy's leadership is giving flop-era energy. They miss the old Demon King Goal, who actually had brains and strategy. The Centaur General mentions that morale is tanking, and Puff randomly suggests throwing a meet and greet to raise spirits. Cut to the human world. Fleo and Rice are at the market when Rice hits a jackpot in a lottery. She thinks it's a romantic getaway for 2. Turns out it's a family voucher for 15 people. Her dream honeymoon just became a group trip with all their freeloading friends. Fleo's cool with it though, saying it'll help everyone bond with Goal and Euliminus. Rice looks ready to file for divorce already. They all arrive at the hot springs, each pool having a special effect like healing, skin glow, or Rice's favorite, enhanced fertility. Her eyes light up like she just found a cheat code for motherhood. She's already naming imaginary kids while dragging Fleo toward it. Meanwhile, the squad gets their robes and splits up. Rice secretly asks the staff for directions to the fertility pool, while the muscle mommy accidentally bumps into Sir Uigard himself, who's here on Puff's team bonding retreat. Puff forces everyone to act normal and wear necklaces that hide their demon vibes. Goal and Euliminus also spot Sir Uigard and his crew, but are told by Rice to stay out of sight. She's not letting family drama ruin her spa day. Rice drags Fleo off for alone time, clearly on a mission. Haya, meanwhile, gets weirdly curious about the whole baby-making thing and decides to experiment in her psyche world with the witch Domelinas, only to get kicked out mid-act and learn the hard way what consent means. Rice and Fleo finally reach the fertility hot spring. She's in full seduction mode, whispering sweet nonsense through the bamboo wall separating the baths. Fleo panics, but eventually warms up when she mentions a honeymoon. Across the resort, the redhead archer sneaks off for her own solo time, only for Haya to show up too. Let's just say things get weirdly mutual. Elsewhere, the rest of the gang is chilling with snacks. Balarosa, still suspicious of Goal, keeps staring at him like he's a walking red flag, but blushes when he compliments her. Euliminus doesn't like that one bit. Jealous much? Meanwhile, Sir Uigard and his generals are having dinner until a dumb fight breaks out between 2 demons. One loses his magic necklace, toxic gas leaks out, and chaos spreads all around. To make things worse, the ex-fake hero and his broke companion just happen to be nearby. The hero's shiny gem absorbs the poison gas, turns demonic, and he hulks out into a giant monster. Back at the inn, Fleo saves some guests from falling rubble. Rice runs off half-naked to fight. Priorities, right? And Goal realizes the gas came from demon sources. Balarosa wants to help, but Goal tells her to chill. Fleo's got this. She ignores him, rounds up the girls, and charges off anyway. Finally, Goal smirks and says, "Screw it! Time to join in." He and Euliminus teleport straight into the mess, ready to protect their vacation spot. Rice shows up too, absolutely furious her spa trip got ruined. And of course, Sir Uigard appears, smashes his own necklace to power up, and the 2 brothers face off, one fighting for honor, the other for pure ego. The Hot Springs vacation just turned into WrestleMania, Demon Edition. Things get wild when Uigard starts throwing crazy Melissi blasts at Goal like he's in a Dragon Ball episode, but Goal blocks every single one like it's light work. Uigard then whips out a full-on Melissi monster to do his dirty work, but Goal steps in and blocks that too, dude's on main character timing. Meanwhile, Balarosa rushes to tell Fleo about the chaos outside. She's sure the monster is tied to Uigard and his squad sneaking in with fake human faces. Fleo's chill about it though, he knows Goal's got this handled, so he focuses on keeping the resort from falling apart. Up on the roof, Uigardi goes full spam mode with Melissi attacks, but Goal breaks free like, "Try harder, bro." Turns out Uigard's got skills with Melissi control that could even mess with other demons' bodies, so everyone's on high alert. Rice decides to handle the human trapped inside the magic gem herself. She teleports in, decks Blondie straight out of the gem because revenge for her ruined spa day is personal, and everything goes poof, including the monster. Goal tells Euliminus to deal with the demon generals while he finishes Uigard. Before fighting, Goal politely asks Uigard to chill, but of course, Uigard wants pure smoke. They start trading blows, but Goal easily dodges everything. Then he snaps and uses a sealing spell so strong it wipes Uigard's powers down to 0, basically nerfs him to a regular dude. Uigard loses it when he finds out it's a human-made spell, but too late, he's already getting captured. Rise, meanwhile, is downstairs still beating Blondie's ass for good measure until Fleo tells her to chill so he can fix the resort. Once everything's repaired, the crew gets treated to a fancy meal. Rise gets an eel pie that's supposed to boost stamina. Wink wink. Balarosa thanks Goal for saving humans earlier, and Uliminis immediately gets jealous because she's clearly catching feelings. Later, everyone's relaxing in the baths. Fleo and Goal have a wholesome bro moment, both dreaming about peace between humans and demons. Fleo admits magic can't fix everything, but with good friends, maybe they'll figure something out. Goal's all in for that team up. That night, Fleo stargazes while Rice joins him. They talk deep, like, what do you think of humans, Deep? And Rice admits she doesn't hate them anymore. Fleo tells her he's going to protect everyone no matter what, and she promises to stay by his side. The chemistry's real. The next morning, Rice is glowing, everyone's teasing, and they teleport back home. Back to normal life. Blossom's farming, Haya's growing veggies, and Goal's learning weapon crafting like it's his new side hustle. Bali Rosa shows off the armor he made her and everyone's hyped. Meanwhile, Queen Elizabeth vows to fix the kingdom, and Fleo looks around at his crew and wife, realizing he's actually living his best life. This is where the story ends for now. If you're still here, I want to let you know that you are a real one. Click here to watch the video about a Russian hottie who secretly is in love with the laziest loser of the class. Meet you there.